Hello everybody, and welcome to my thoughts and reaction to Halo Infinite's campaign overview. For those that don't know, Halo dropped a 6-minute campaign overview that gave a quick look at the story and showed new gameplay and enemies. It was brilliant, and we're going to have a quick look at it very soon, but first let me remind everybody of what I thought about the previous campaigns. Halo 1's campaign is a terrific introduction to the world of Halo. It makes this universe feel like an expansive and deep living world without ever overwhelming the player with information and making them think that they are starting at the wrong place in time. Halo 2's story is a genuine masterpiece and probably my favourite of all the Halo games. While some of the levels can be a bit linear, the story is absolutely phenomenal and perfectly follows off from the events of the first game, whilst also expanding and improving some concepts. The abrupt ending and unfair legendary difficulty can be a bit frustrating, but overall the campaign is so good that you will quickly forget about those problems. Halo 3 is not only one of the greatest Xbox 360 games of all time, but one of the best games ever made, full stop. The campaign is a fitting ending to the series and perfectly encapsulates the Halo experience up until that point in time. It came out with, in many people's eyes, the best Halo campaign. Maybe my favourite two. I'm really undecided between 2 and 3 stories, and it was the highest grossing entertainment day one release for a reason. Halo Wars is a brilliantly simple RTS that provides a nice insight into how the Human Covenant War was in the early days. It has great characters, a great story, and beautiful cutscenes that even hold up somewhat to this day. It is a very good experience that I would highly recommend if you have not tried it, which a lot of people didn't, especially when compared to Halo 3's numbers. That same year we got Halo 3 ODST, which is a story that I used to never like, but has slowly grown on me over time. The shift in character strength and playstyle can seem a little jarring at first, but I've really come to appreciate the more human story being told by this game. Also, I like how well it ties into Halo 2, so my main gripe with this game is why was it called Halo 3 ODST when it has a whole lot more to do with Halo 2? Halo Reach is a game that I never understood all of the hype around. To be fair, that could be because I enjoy the Halo stories more than the multiplayer, but Reach never made me as excited or giddy as any of the other games. It's still a great game though. There are parts that I do like, the way in which Spartans are picked off one by one and the fact that you know that the fight is lost even before it begins, but I also think that last point kind of hinders the game a little, as with every win that you get throughout the game, you know it means absolutely nothing and is just a bit depressing overall. Having said all of this, the flying mission is a game is the best level in any game ever made. Do not at me. Halo 4 is a confusing mess of a game with some of the best character work in the series, but a weak story, bad villain, and a disconnect from the rest of the series from a narrative perspective. I really like the story between Cortana and Chief, and how Chief returns to a universe that has moved on without him. That moment where he saves the UNSC Infinity and he sees all of the Spartans rushing out, even though you can't see his face, you know his facial reaction perfectly. But for all of the good in the game, there is something else wrong. The game was very clearly trying to be more like a COD game, and it was really weird. Also, Captain Idiot in charge of the Infinity was a bit of an unnecessary obstacle that felt really forced. Overall, a good game, but a very weird Halo game that I'm not overly keen to revisit. Halo Spartan Assault and Halo Spartan Strikes are both cynical products that were made as a feeble attempt for Microsoft to sell more Nokia Lumias. Their stories are garbo, and I have already devoted more time to writing this than Microsoft did planning the story, so that's all the time that they will be getting. Halo 5's story is a personal insult to anybody that has so much as ever read a children's book. It seems to actively resent being a Halo game and barely features the Master Chief. It truly baffles me that they thought that advanced movement, hit markers in campaign, new art style, turning Cortana evil, repeating a boss battle 1,000 times, introducing 476 new characters, having a deceptive marketing campaign, killing off Jewel and Dharma in the first mission, removing split screen, etc. would be a good idea. Besides all of that, the game is not fun. The game is far too easy, even on Legendary with schools, and it is far too short. An absolute mess of the game that's only redeeming aspect is the multiplayer, which even then has its own major flaws. Halo Wars 2 was a return to decency for the series. The campaign is not utterly fantastic, but it is definitely good. It would be great if it was longer and had more cutscenes because they look absolutely gorgeous, but overall, it's a solid story with good characters and improved gameplay from Halo Wars 1, and so I would recommend this game to those who haven't played it. So, now that you know where we stand, you can understand why I am so intensely hyped for this game. We haven't had a Halo campaign for 4 years. My body is ready.
Since the beginning, Halo was about Master Chief and Cortana.
Yes! Yes! 1,000 times yes!
I am so happy to hear that.
Humanity is fighting for survival.
I really like how the series is returning to humanity being outmatched and fighting against the odds. It's what the best games in this series were about, and I think that it's great that 343 have finally recognised that fact.
The Banished have risen, defeated our heroes, and taken control of the mysterious Zeta Halo.
It's also nice to see Halo being about the Halo rings again.
We need a savior. We need hope. We need Spartan 117, Master Chief.
All good signs so far. Great that they seem to be taking feedback on board, and that we will be playing as Master Chief and not some wannabe cardboard cutout version from Wish.
We have a new mission, soldier.
What is it? What's down there?
A weapon.
A weapon? How many guns do you need?
In the biggest campaign to date, Halo Infinite invites players to become Master Chief and discover true Spartan freedom in the most wide-open and adventure-filled Halo experience yet.
This seems like a natural evolution of Halo Combat Evolved, which I'm getting a lot of vibes of, which is a good thing. The second mission of Halo CE was a beautifully expansive level, so if this game can make something more expansive and more immersive than that, it can only be a good thing.
His first mission is to retrieve a new AI, codenamed the Weapon.
Again, I like this. Halo works best when Chief is talking to an AI, and this could serve as a great way to introduce people into the world of Halo.
Following the events of Halo 5,
what did she do that was so wrong?
To be honest, Weapon, I don't blame you for not playing Halo 5's campaign.
Order received. Stand by.
Right, calling in vehicles seems boss, but why have they just dropped it onto the ground? Imagine that, you call in a vehicle and it's destroyed before you even get in it. The lack of fall damage seems very interesting.
from the beginning of the Halo saga, Master Chief has been a hero, ready to fight and win.
Fight and win!
You're safe now.
I love how this bit's been memed to death, but it's true. You're safe now. Immediately drives off a 100-foot cliff with Marines that die like flies. Boss battles could be a lot of fun in Halo, provided the enemies are not just regular brutes with a bit more health. Also, the overlay is an interesting choice. I would have preferred it to look more like the fight versus Tartarus in Halo 2. No overlay, just brutes dying when they die.
Players now have more freedom than ever before to take down the Banished any way they choose.
That map looks exquisite.
Banished facility up ahead, Chief. What do we do?
Shut it down. Permanently.
Now, these look like they have the potential to be really fun. However, a lot of games like to have these outposts, and they're fun for the first 3 or 4 times you do them, and then they just become tedious to do. It would be great if the Banished could retake certain facilities or rebuild them over time, depending on the territory. So say like, if you were on the edge of your territory, they might send a force to retake the facility, but if you were deep inside your area, then they couldn't. Either that will make sure every single version is noticeably different from the last.
What do we have here?
The upgrade system is an interesting addition to Halo, and I'm excited to see how it plays out. Yes! It is very nice to see the gravity hammer having gravity effects again, unlike in the multiplayer beta.
Do you see that? Could be useful, if you like that kind of thing.
Oh, I like it.
Chief is going to have some of his best one-liners in this game. Mark my words, you can just feel it.
Tank beats everything!
Defying the odds to take down the Banished.
If I were to say something negative so far, the grapple looks really slow to use and honestly a bit boring, but it could be that you can upgrade it to go faster, so I'm not overly fussed at this present moment in time.
And surprising new threats, like the agile skimmers.
Could have just given us back drones. Not buying that this is a new enemy type. This is one of my pet peeves in games, where they take something out for a few years and then put something very similar or exactly the same into a newer game, and then say, look, it's new. Don't you like this new thing? EA do it all the time and it really grinds my gears. It's like they're trying to take you for a mug, and I ain't no mug.
A sadistic Spartan killer named Jaga Erdamni.
Say goodbye.
Look out, Chief. He looks...
Angry.
He looks epic. No other comment needs to be spoken.
And something even more threatening.
The Forerunner's lies are at an end. I am the harbinger of the truth. You are not the future.
2 things. 1. Her character design and attack looks absolutely great and quite inventive. 2. I love how the music in this section is a reimagining of classic Halo music. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Welcome to the new era of Halo.
Honestly, I am over the moon with excitement. This was a fantastic hype package for Halo Infinite. I saw people watch this and say the game needs a battle royale, which... Number 1? No. Number 2? It's a campaign overview. Number 3? Just make a Forge battle royale. I know Forge isn't coming with the release of Halo Infinite, but just wait until it comes. Overall, I have faith that the campaign will be very good. I like how they've kind of just ignored a lot of Halo 5 so they don't feel written into a corner by that. And the different art style to the other 343 games is great. My only worry for the campaign is that co-op won't be available at launch, which is sad, but I'm not sure if it's worth delaying the game for. Because, on the one hand, I want a finished product at launch. I feel like we should expect that as a community of gamers. But on the other hand, split screen is back at launch, so there is a way to play a co-op campaign, and it's also the classic Halo way. The main worries I have for Halo Infinite are to do with modes outside of campaign, such as Forge and multiplayer, but from a campaign perspective, I feel like there is now very little to worry about, and it seems that the advertising for this one has learned from the mistakes of Halo 5. Hello everybody and welcome to a video about my concerns about Overwatch 2. Recently we saw the pros playing Overwatch 2 and give their feedback, which, along with the content put out by the Overwatch development team, has given me, personally, a great deal of cause for concern. In this video I will highlight areas of concern that I have, whilst also explaining why I feel that way. However, later in the video I will also be discussing what I do like the look of and why. Also, before we start, I recognise that all of these perceived problems may just be because I really like Overwatch and I'm slightly biased, or I'm scared of change, or I'm getting worked up over nothing. That very well could be the case, because I'm also nervous for Halo Infinite as well, so it could just be that I'm getting really nervous over games which I'm very hyped for. I like Overwatch. That should be fairly obvious by now. The game is not perfect, but I immensely enjoy it, whether it's QP when I'm by myself or comp with friends. I like the look, the feel, the gameplay, the sound. There is no one element of Overwatch that I universally dislike. I understand that others will disagree, and that's perfectly fine, but from my perspective, the game is great. I fear that Overwatch will be gone with Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 has already greatly destroyed many aspects of the game. We had the last hero nearly 2 years ago, our last new 6v6 map in May 2019, and no significant changes to the competitive since they got rid of hero bans in early 2020. I would probably not be making this video if I felt that Overwatch 1 would still be supported as a separate game, even if it was without the esport and had less focus than Overwatch 2. But if you were keeping count, then you would realise that we haven't had a new 6v6 map at all, and only one new hero since Overwatch 2 was announced. So I wouldn't hold my breath on Blizzard changing their minds from updating Overwatch's multiplayer to Overwatch 2's and keeping the games separated. The way Blizzard won't be keeping on with Overwatch 1 is not the only thing that I do not like the look of in Overwatch 2.
We have a lot more new looks, so I'm excited to see how players and fans react to all of the ones that we've done so far.
I'm so sorry guys, I really tried to like the new look for the game, but I just really don't. The brighter and higher saturation UI is really not doing it for me and reminds me a lot of Valorant. Also, small changes have really just annoyed me personally, even if they are a bit nitpicky. Like, why have the cornered edges instead of rounding them? Why have they straightened everything? Why have they inverted the black and white of the ultimates? Why have they gotten rid of the segments in the ult and barrier sections? And with Ryan, why have they got his shield held in the middle of the screen at all times, whether his shield's up or down? Also, I think maps at Sunset/Sunrise look really weird. It kind of reminds me of how Sunset looks in Fortnite Chapter 2, and I don't think it looks particularly great there either. I actually like most of the new sounds, especially Soldier.
With escort maps is he's actually going to get demexed really early, and that's going to allow Sparkle to take this high ground here through the train.
Yeah, this train can't fall.
But some of the weapons sound really stupid now, like Diva's out of her mech blaster sounds even more like a toy. There are some changes to the UI, sound and look with certain characters and things that I do like, but I will talk about that a little bit later in the video. Lastly, I really dislike the new kill feed. The sound is nice when your teammates die, but the actual icons are far too small and they look like when something minor happens in Overwatch 1, like a Pulse Bomb or a Diva remake, but it isn't the biggest problem that I have that involves the tanks.
Overwatch 2 will be played with 2 teams of 5 players.
Probably the most controversial part of the video. I think this change is absolutely ridiculous. Ripping out a core part of Overwatch to appease people that probably won't even play the game is a ludicrous decision in my eyes. If you think this is a good change, then more power to you, but I genuinely don't understand how this will not drive a significant portion of tank players away from the game. People say that, oh, they're going to rework the tanks so they fit the 5v5, stop thinking about it in Overwatch terms. Genuinely confuse me because a lot of them also argue that this will fix queue times, but like, this game is supposed to bring back many lapsed fans and introduce many others to the game. So if you make tanks appealing, people will want to play them. What's appealing about being the only tank and being targeted by everybody without any other tank to help you out? If you listen to top tank players, a lot of them will constantly tell you about how little tanks are able to do play-wise in Overwatch 2.
Nobody has made any plays. The DPS are getting kills, the supports are doing their jobs. Tanks have literally not made a single ounce of impact in any of these games. Not one little bit. So tell me how it's more fun. Tell me how it's better, because they're not going to do anything. They're going to AFK.
And then tanks, they can't, because there's only one tank. So you're fucking taking all the brunt of the impact, right? And DPS are just... like, okay, so if this is like normal power level here, tanks are like down there, supports are like there, and then fucking DPS are fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Having one less player on your team and being a solo tank, I mean, it does, I mean, even just watching this again, it does feel very, I hate to say it, but it does feel very disjointed, very deathmatchy.
There are two tanks that I am really worried about, and we haven't heard much regarding reworks, and what we do know about them is either terrible or not enough. These tanks are Zarya and Roadhog, but Zarya more so. Roadhog looked terrible in the moments that he's been on screen, and has no significant adjustments to him. His solo style of play probably won't be viable in Overwatch 2, and overall he just seems like he'll be a bullet sponge, which doesn't particularly sound fun at all. Zarya is more worrying though, as explained by Super.
This is actually such a fucking nerf, because if she uses both of her bubbles like this, they're on the same cooldown cycle. If you bubble yourself and a teammate at the same time, you have to wait 20 seconds to get both of your bubbles back.
And this all seems to stem from Blizzard trying to appease just one role. I would very much like to know what made Blizzard think that focusing the game on just the DPS perspective would be a good idea. It probably has something to do with the fact that people just want to shoot things, and Blizzard aren't bothered about trying to sell them on the teamwork aspect of this game that won multiple awards for its unique take on the FPS genre as a team game. The game sold 60 million copies, and they want to change direction because why? They want sales from people that were unlikely to play the game anyway, and almost certainly won't stick around for long. Also, I touched on it before, but the major buffs to damage in this game are ludicrous. I really hope that minus 25% healing does not go through. But why are Blizzard, 1, making DPS go faster, and 2, why are they stating that they are allowing for a higher carry potential? Decreasing the TTK and healing just means that the game is less fun to play, the way that it is currently being played. If you are good enough in Overwatch 1, you can carry. It's just true. But the whole point is that it's a team game. The team play should decide whether you win or lose. There are some other things I want to get into, so I won't spend too much longer on this section, but it feels as if Overwatch have just decided that healer and tank can be taken for granted. They'll enjoy the game no matter what. You can even see that in the new maps.
All of our players at home, they want to see one of the new maps that we've never talked about before.
I do not understand why people are raving about the first point of New York like it's something we have never seen before. There are a lot of ways to attack that point, but there are a lot of ways to attack almost every point in the game. It's a bit off topic, but it's a really weird discussion that I'm seeing all the time. The map looks fine. However, obviously I haven't played any of them. The only map I'm unsure of the look of is Rome, but it could just be nothing. It cannot be worse than literally every King of the Hill map. The main thing that concerns me about the maps in Overwatch 2 is how few we have seen combined with Blizzard's record of inconsistency with the quality of the maps. Overwatch currently has 19 maps in competitive rotation, and yes, I know that the maps will also be in Overwatch 2, but that's not the point. Overwatch released with 12 maps, and we only had 7 new maps confirmed to us. This, however, is not my main issue. So long as we see a few more maps before release, then I won't be too fussed. But my main concern is Blizzard's history of new maps. This is entirely down to personal taste, but only 4 of the 6v6 maps that they put in after the release of Overwatch have been good. Personally, 5 of them were terrible. 2 of those 5 were so bad that Blizzard themselves took them out of competitive game modes entirely. Having said all of this, out of the ones we have seen, I only don't like the look of Rome. Apart from that, I do want to play them, so this isn't the biggest area of concern, but it is always in the back of my mind. Yeah, that's enough negativity for one day, I think.
I'm so excited!
It would be unfair to talk about Overwatch 2 without mentioning some of the stuff that doesn't make me nervous. The Sombra rework is very nice, even if it is perhaps a tad OP, but that could just be because I am a Sombra main. Some of the new maps look absolutely gorgeous. Monte Carlo, Rome and Rio especially. The new time of day for some of the maps looks great as well. Looking at you, Havana. Like I've already said, I like most of the sounds in the game and the look of the new game mode as well. And no new 2CP maps, and the new extra visual indicators are very nice. Nano speed boost and Mercy staff's applied effects especially look very nice. Overall, I have a reason to be somewhat hopeful for Overwatch 2, but I am feeling scared for the quality of the game. But I do have faith that if it does release in a bad state, it could be fixed. Welcome to another Overwatch video finally. So today I thought it'd be fun to just go and have a a quick tier list of all the maps in Overwatch at the minute currently. So I'm just here on a tierlistmaker.com and I'm gonna get right to it now. I'm gonna start off with Blizzard World, and personally, this is an A tier map. I really love it. It's really good. No real downsides to it apart from maybe the first point's a bit too long to get there from the attacker side. But apart from that, I really enjoy this map whenever I play it, even though I always seem to lose. But hey ho, that's life. You win some, you lose some. Next is Temple of Anubis. That's C tier. It's not terrible. It's not great. And yeah, I'm just gonna pretty much ignore it. So Busan, I'm gonna put in D tier. I really just dislike King of the Hill maps. I think they're all terrible to serviceable at best, but even then, I just really thoroughly dislike playing King of the Hill. They're terrible. Hello? Yeah. This one's a no-brainer. Paris and Horizon are both going in Z tier. They are both extremely woeful, and there's a reason why they're not in the game at the minute, okay? That's all I have to say. Rialto, that's another A tier map, another beautiful map, and also weirdly, whenever I seem to play defense first, it's a W. Whenever I attack first, it's an L. There's no in between for some reason. That's just how these work. Eichenwald is another A tier map. Really enjoy that. Really, really, really fun. And then the one S tier map that there is, Kings Row, best map in the game. Country Mile, nothing even comes even slightly close. Numbani's going to go in F tier because that map genuinely sucks. Can genuinely get in the bin. Hybrid is my favourite Overwatch game mode, but Numbani just chucks all of that out in the window. It's not a great looking map if I'm honest, and I could die a happy man if I never had to play that map ever again. Hollywood, B tier. It's probably the weakest of the good hybrid maps, but it's still a very, very fun time, and I have no real complaints about it. Ilios, I'm going to put in C tier. It would be higher, because it is probably the best King of the Hill map. It's just that everybody seems to get really stupid when they're playing 2 of the 3 maps. Like, unless you're playing on Ruins, which is the worst of the 3 maps, everybody just decides, you know, I've never played Lucio before, but this is the map where you've got to go with the Lucio boot. So we're going to run Lucio Brig, Hog, Ball, and then 2 other stupid DPS, probably Farah and, I don't know, somebody else just that they've never played before, but because it's the boot map, they're going to stop playing Overwatch and start playing Boot Watch, which is just really annoying. Watchpoint Gibraltar F tier. It's the only other map in the game that's as bad as Numbani that's still in competitive rotation. Please get rid of it. It's atrocious. Volskaya C tier again. I don't really have that much of a problem with 2CP. I think it's fine. I don't know why, because there are legitimate reasons for people seriously disliking them, but I don't really have problems with either of them. So Lijiang Tower is probably the nicest looking King of the Hill map, so it's going to go in C, but yeah, I don't really care for it that much. I mean, Night Market is good for when you're playing Sim, which I like to play a fair bit, but yeah, apart from that, doesn't really suit many of the characters that I play. But you know, it could be worse. And again, Gardens is sort of... Is it Gardens? The one with the 2 big holes in the middle. I think that's Gardens, because you got Night Market, Control Center, and Gardens. Yeah, Gardens. Gardens is like Ilios, Well Lighthouse, where everybody just goes, oh yes, I've got to play the boot heroes and get the environmental kills. It's the only way to get kills, because normal Overwatch apparently doesn't apply. I think this is Oasis, and if it is Oasis, F tier, worst control map in the game. Honestly, it's so bad. I just oh my god. Nepal, that can get in D tier. Not terrible, but it is a King of the Hill map, so it's D tier. Dorado, B tier. I quite enjoy it. It's very nice. I think the first choke is really annoying, at least in the level that I play. Which isn't that high, but you know, it's just really annoying, and I could do without it, or just being something different. I think it's also kind of awkward how you've got to come the way you come underneath. It's just very strange. So you could be standing on level ground and still be below them, if that makes sense. I know, it's just a bit of a weird map. It's not... Apart from that, though, it's a beautiful map. Brilliant to play. No real complaints. Junkertown, C tier. I'm putting a lot in C tier, but you'd kind of hope so, considering that's the mid tier. But yeah, it just is what it is. You know, it's got a reputation, and kind of rightfully so, but it could always be worse, I suppose. Hanamura, B tier. Like I said, I enjoy 2CP to an extent. Hanamura is probably the best 2CP map. It's not quite A tier, you know, and it's definitely nowhere touching my King's Row fun. Havana, I know this is going to be quite controversial because I know a lot of people seemingly dislike this map, but I'm actually going to put it in A tier. It's probably my second favourite escort map. It's really fun. I always get happy when I see this coming. There's a lot of space to do some stuff. That's probably one of the reasons why I like it, because there's just a lot of space, whilst also a lot of cover at the same time, if that makes sense. And I know, it's just... You never have two of the same match on Havana. You just really never do. And then Route 66, I'm going to put in D tier. I don't think the map looks very great. I don't think it plays that well. And I don't know. I did play a whole tournament on Route 66, and we didn't do well, so that's forever tainted it in my mind. I actually got shouted at for nanoing a Reinhardt in the middle of a brawling team fight, which was interesting. But yeah, that's how my tier list is. So, just to recap, we've got King's Row as the best map in the entire game. Blizzard World, Rialto, Eichenwald, and Havana as A tier. We've got Hollywood, Hanamura, and Dorado as B tier. We've got Temple of Anubis, Junkertown, Ilios, Volskaya, and Lijiang as C tier. We've got Busan, Nepal, and Route 66 as D tier. We've got Numbani, Watchpoint Gibraltar, and Oasis as F tier. And then in Z tier, we've got Paris and Horizon Lunar Colony. So, hello everybody, welcome back to another Overwatch video. Today's video, we're going to be looking at this cheater that we ran across in our game. So, yeah, let's go and take a look. By the way, everybody say hi to my friend Recession. He's the one that's going to be streaming the replay for us. Now, the person we're looking at is this person, Sturix, ST3RIX. How do you say his stupid name? It's not exactly the worst name we've come across, though, is it?
No. That goes to Flame Twist. If you ever see Flame Twist in an Overwatch game, just scream Flame Twist down the map and you will cry and get very mad about it. So this guy, I think he was gold, wasn't he?
Yeah, this was a gold game. Partly because Alex is in silver, I'm in diamond, and it's the only way we can really play together, you know.
Right. Okay. But yeah, so this guy, we didn't think that nothing seems out of the ordinary at the moment, till we get to about 4 minutes 40, I think.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
And so this is the second game. So we just lost this game, and pretty badly. We had I Love Mangoes, who also apparently loves giving shit call-outs.
He wasn't exactly a nice person either, was he?
No, he wasn't. But we had the Mercy, who did nothing but pocket this soldier because they're in a stack. And yeah, so this is when it starts to get a bit...
Do you think anything's a bit suspect there? I just think he's got a good gaming chair, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, the gaming chair did improve, but...
He just had a delivery from IKEA in the middle of the game.
I hear and it just snaps straight to the Zenyatta as it goes around the corner.
Oh, it's...
So, yeah, I mean...
It's like he said, he just started trying in the second round.
Yeah, so this is when he starts trying as well. When, conveniently... Seems to, I mean, at this point as well, no one on their team was saying anything about it.
Yeah.
And they didn't say anything till the end of the game, which was not great, but...
No, they should have told us, like, right away. We could have tried to figure something out between the two teams.
I mean, just the way it follows them without, like, missing at all, it's just ridiculous. There, Lucio fell off.
I suppose there's not really much we could have done there, because you can't draw on a control map.
No, we couldn't have done anything.
Another one of the reasons why it's the worst game mode in Overwatch, but...
Yeah, it's the only one you can't draw, right?
Yeah, you can draw every single. You can even draw a bloody payload map.
Yeah, because as long as neither touch it.
Or you can just get to the checkpoints, and for some reason the game draws it there as well. Which is a bit dumb, but. Right.
Yeah, they never moved it past the checkpoint though.
Let them up. I've got you in my sights. Into the iris.
Well,
Again, just look at the way he's tracking them with his ultimate. It's just so stupid. I can't believe we didn't notice, to be honest.
I mean, we didn't notice because we weren't spectating him.
True. But also, like, the fact he's not really doing that much when you consider the fact that he's got a literal aimbot.
Yeah.
On 100% of the time. Like, you'd expect
he dies a lot for someone with an aimbot.
He dies right here, doesn't he? Yeah. Gets booped off by Lucio. It's just...
Because he has this, like, you know, it's the overconfidence is a flimsy shield, in the words of Zenyatta.
Ah, big Zen.
Like...
Knock me down.
Because as well, like, we wouldn't have noticed without the play of the game, would we?
We just, no. Either play the game, or try to find the play game. It was near the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was near the end.
Yeah?
No,
it was further on than this. He was sort of camping them near their spawn.
Yeah, it was right at the end.
Yeah, so it's about here. So this is it, I think, actually.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah, this is it.
I mean, just look. Look at that. What? Pure skill. And then he puts on the aimbot. The official aimbot.
The okay aimbot.
Like, yeah, but let's have a look at some more. Because, like, we were losing the fight as well. For most of that round. Like, that's just ridiculous.
I mean, it's just ridiculous watching it.
It is. The fact as well, though, with the Mercy Pocket, like, it's not even like the enemy team could... Well, I suppose they could turn around and focus him when he's in some of his more ridiculous positions, but...
I don't know. I mean, he's just waiting for the Mercy to come to them.
Yeah.
Let me get you patched up.
So, I mean, I'm pretty sure the Baptiste was definitely, you know, being boosted by this guy. And I think the Mercy might have been, but that could also just be the Mercy seeing, you know, seeing how many hit markers they get.
Yeah, and going with it.
Like they've got so much arrogance there, though. Like, they get themselves and Mercy killed.
Yeah, it's just terrible gameplay. Because look, their soldiers even like trying to go and deal with him straight from the start, and he just snaps on immediately, doesn't miss a shot.
Doesn't even bother with the Baptiste window.
Nah.
I've got you in my sights.
I mean, the ult is actively worse for him to use, and I feel like he only uses it because it would be more suspicious.
Yeah, because you can't get headshots in a soldier ult, can you? Apart from that bloody April Fool's update.
Yeah.
Did he turn it off there for a second? Because he seemed to miss almost every shot.
He missed them, but I think that's because you still move your mouse with the aimbot. And it just, I think because there were 3 targets, it was just snapping between the 3 of them.
Yeah, potentially.
I don't think... It didn't look, you know, when people say they're toggling, it didn't look like he was toggling, because it looked like he just left it on for the past 2 rounds.
Yeah, because he definitely didn't have it on in the first round.
No,
because you were playing soldier in the first round, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he said, give me soldier.
So none of this would have worked if you weren't so nice. And then this is the play of the game. Just... Because initially we were both just like, oh yeah, it's just the usual people getting beat and claiming hacking. And then it's just like, no, no, that's definitely hacking.
Then he got... If it wasn't for that play of the game...
Yeah.
Ranking Minecraft armor enchantments from worst to best.
In absolutely complete dead last place. Curse of Vanishing. Whew. Such a useless enchantment. I know it's a curse, and you can't get it from an enchantment table, but if you have this, and you're not playing Java Hardcore, just don't use the item. Disenchant it, and use the level for different enchantments. I don't care how good it is. For those that don't know, this curse means that when you die, no matter what, you lose the item permanently. It's crap. I can't stress this enough. Don't use an item if it comes with this. Number 12, Curse of Binding. Again, this is so useless, and I know it's a curse, but this ranks higher than the Curse of Vanishing, basically because at least you get to use this if you die. The only bad thing that will happen if you die is that it will just stick in your inventory again. It won't completely disappear. Number 11, fire protection. Completely covered and better with a potion, and is really unnecessary when you could just get normal protection or blast protection. It's a waste of space, last in my rankings above the proper enchantments, and to be honest, this is all the time I'm really willing to give it. I've already spent too much on this. Number 10, projectile protection. Just get normal protection. This only guards against one kind of damage from one very specific enemy, or I suppose two if you're counting spider jockeys. But it can't be completely overdone by a potion, so it ranks higher than fire resistance. But also, like the curses, this and fire protection are basically interchangeable in the rankings. Number 9, aqua affinity. You mine faster underwater. That's it. Very unlikely you're mining underwater anyway, so it's kind of useless, but ranks this highly because it doesn't prevent a better enchantment being applied to the helmet, and it can't really have its job done for it by a potion. Number 8, Frostwalker. A great enchantment for traversing oceans. It's further enhanced by the fact that oceans aren't permanently obstructed, so you can still go on a boating trip later down the line if you really want to. However, it is hurt by the fact that it is highly situational as an enchantment, and it is truly annoying when all you want to do is just get into the water and you have to take your boots off, causing you to lose armour. Number 7, Depth Strider. This ranking is kind of interchangeable with Frostwalker, but I've ranked this one higher because you're more likely to be in water than travelling across large distances on it. At max level, you can't be pushed by water and there's no detrimental movement speed in water, so overall it is a good enchantment, but it negates an annoyance rather than enhancing your experience of the game. Number 6, Blast Protection. Like fire and projectile protection, just get normal protection, but this is higher on the list as on higher difficulties. This is the only way to live through a point blank creeper explosion, and it only needs to be applied on 2 armor pieces for the full effect, meaning it doesn't hinder protection too much because you can still put it on the other pieces of armor. Number 5, Respiration. There's not really much to say about Respiration. It's an enchantment that helps you breathe longer underwater. It's very useful. Yes, it's sort of offset by the fact that you can just make a potion that does its job a whole lot better, but also you're going to be underwater a lot in Minecraft, whether that's mining, whether that's doing anything else like traversing underwater. Fact is, you're going to be underwater a lot, and this is going to help a lot more than it's going to hinder you. Plus you can still put on a bunch of enchantments afterwards, so it doesn't really diminish. Number 4, Soul Speed. Soul Speed is definitely my personal favourite enchantment, even if it definitely also isn't the best. Allowing you to move at over 60% extra speed over Soul Sand, the Nether can feel like a breeze, and it's just funny to watch everybody writhe about slowly on Soul Sand whilst you're there running faster than Usain Bolt. Number 3, Feather Falling. Feather Falling is a really great enchantment that allows you to survive vast heights without much damage, enabling you, at maximum, to survive a 102 block fall. It's so wonderfully ridiculous that very few enchantments are better. Number 2, Protection. A solid enchantment that makes your armour better in every way than it would have been before. It stacks with most enchantments, enhancing their value as well. Can't ask for much better, but there is one enchantment that I think does have the edge. Number 1, Thorns. A fantastic enchantment that helps you if you're doing a pacifist run and can be very effective in killing monsters before they kill you. Doing a maximum of 2 hearts of damage and knockback, in my opinion, this is the best enchantment in the game, as all other effects help to negate or overturn a problem, whilst Thorns is different because it has a very high chance of completely eliminating the problem, the only effect in the game that can do this. Thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Over Under, where we look at something that I feel is overrated and something that I feel is underrated. And in today's video, we're going to be having a look at the game Minecraft and some enchantments from it, so without further ado, let's go. Overrated. Efficiency. I personally feel that efficiency is quite overrated within the Minecraft community. Yes, it's good, it's decent, and it serves a purpose, but I feel that it's not the great enchantment that everybody thinks it is. All it does is speed up what you're already doing. It doesn't give you any special effects, let's say, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, as we'll see by what I think is underrated, but I just personally feel that it's not as good as everybody makes out to be, basically, which kind of sounds like I'm repeating myself, but there's just something about it that I don't quite like. Unbreaking. This may sound a bit weird, considering I said that obviously efficiency doesn't enhance your experience and it doesn't change anything apart from making stuff go faster, but I feel that Unbreaking doesn't get the recognition that it's deserved. You never hear somebody getting excited about the fact that they've got Unbreaking 3. Now, I could be wrong here, but I personally feel like it is the single most underrated enchantment in the entirety of the game, because it isn't that special. And what I mean by that is, it allows everything else to do it. It is the solid rock that holds up everything else within the community. Because say you've got efficiency, right? Efficiency doesn't actually negate how much damage it takes, so you still take the same amount of damage for each block mined that you would before, or each block dug, or every piece of wood chopped down, or every enemy killed. Whilst with Unbreaking, it allows efficiency to get the reputation that it has. It allows mending to have the time to do what it needs to do. Without Unbreaking, a lot of the very best things about tools in Minecraft would just go completely kaput.
So, I was playing Minecraft with my friends the other day on our realm, and I was brewing potions of regeneration and slow falling, you know, stuff like that. And as I was stood there brewing, I thought to myself, this could be a good video. So, I got all the potions you can drink on Bedrock Edition in their lowest forms, and tested the effects of each, and put them in order of usefulness. Just again, this is only for when you drink the potion, so it's going to be quite vastly different to splash potions and possibly lingering potions. So, without further ado, there is no reason to ever poison yourself on Minecraft. There are many things that can do just as good a job, or better than poison, to be honest. The only reason you would want to kill yourself in the game would be if you had keep inventory on and you wanted to get back, or you put all your items in an ender chest and wanted to die. But like, why poison? You know, it only brings you down to half a heart and can't actually kill you, so you'd still have to take damage afterwards, so why not just jump off a high place in the first place, or get killed by a monster? I mean, you have to take damage anyway, so I just don't understand. It's a useless potion. Similar to poison. You have to take damage for harming to kill you, because it only does 3 hearts of damage. Then you can take the potion and you spend less time waiting to get to a health where you can die, because with poison obviously you've got to wait to get to half a heart, and we saw how long that took in the last clip, and so you can die quicker with this one. This is quite a potently negative potion, but can allow for a challenge, you know. It lowers the attack strength of the player by 2 hearts, according to the wiki. However, there's not going to be an enormous difference between normal and weak attacks, especially late game if you've got something like an enchanted diamond sword. So overall, it's not even an annoyance, it's more just a potion that if you take it's on a level with the mundane potion, with how much it's going to affect you in a normal setting, like I said, especially late game. So, in my humble opinion, this is the pinnacle of a potion that just summons the feeling of apathy in its consumer. It reduces speed by 15% to 85% normal speed, and you really don't feel it that much, to be honest. To put it into context, if you run 100 blocks normally, with the potion on, and in that same amount of time, you would run 100 blocks. You would run 85 blocks. In the same amount it took you to run those 100 blocks. It's just not that much of a problem. So, moving on. This potion is useless. With the existence of the conduit, it's is second best for underwater, and when you go down a mine, just turn up your gamma, as I found out the hard way many years ago on the amazing channel Stamper is a Gamer. Plus, you gotta use a golden carrot, which is one of the best foods in the game. Just, I don't like these potions. That's why it's quite far at the bottom of positive potions. It might be quite harsh, but I just don't care, to be honest. The Potion of Decay is the only useful negative potion in the correct circumstances. This is because it kills you quickly, because you get the effect of a damage hit straight away, and also a poison-like effect. But instead of just bringing you down to half a heart and you needing to be damaged to die, you just die. Simples, really. Also, the rarity of the potion makes it a lot more special than every other potion on the list. Overall, good potion. Don't drink it by accident with good stuff on you far from home. This is a very it's a positive one, so it ranks this high on the list. But it's a very circumstantial potion, as the only real use it has is when you're farming and you want to jump over fences so you don't accidentally let the animals out. In its lowest form, you can only gain a jump of half a block, so you can't jump out of a too high hole. It's a weird potion that has little use, but it is a positive one, so it ranks this high on the list. Then, sort of like the potion of night vision, you could just use a conduit and it does this potion's job infinitely better. I mean, however, this gets more leeway because the potion needs to be used to get the prismarine blocks to make a conduit in the first place. But apart from that, there's little need for this potion. Also, you have to fish to get this because you need a puffer fish to make it, and AFK fish farms don't work on bedrock, so here it is. Boosting your speed by 20%. This is not greatly noticeable, but it does add another 20 blocks per 100 when moving. However, it lasts for 8 minutes, meaning that you have a long time being a speedy boy. It's not a great potion, but it does the job, so here we have it. Next, we have... Potion increases your health instantly by 2 hearts. I don't need to explain why this is useful, to be honest. It's free health. On to the next potion. Now we are getting to the big boys. The Potion of Invisibility is great, as it makes you completely invisible to mobs, so long as they're not looking directly at you whilst you apply it in, and you're in their line of sight, as you can see here. Go to any mob, apart from these, and they will act as if you are not there. Other players will only see the particle effects to show that you have a potion active. However, they will be able to see anything you are wielding or have in your offhand. I know, as I said, the Potion of Weakness has very little effect, but Strength is positive and could really help you. By adding 1.5 hearts of your attack to your attack, supposedly, late game attacks go from deadly to one-hit kills. It is literally that good. Try it in a fight with an enchanted diamond sword and hit a low health mob like a spider. You will just obliterate everything. I imagine this will be controversial. This is not the best potion in the world, but it is a great one. It restores your health by half a heart every 2.5 seconds. It may not sound a lot and will not do much when you're being swarmed by enemies, as you see, but one-on-one, this means that in a fight with anything that is not a creeper, you'll be able to tank another shot, maybe 2. Also, it lasts for 45 seconds, meaning you get 9 hearts regenerated over that time. What's not to like? I've ranked this one so high purely on how long it takes you to get the Elytra. Yes, if you have the Elytra, you can negate full damage, but it's not 100% reliable, especially on laggy connections. And given the fact that you have to activate it and not fall too fast, this cuts all of that faff out relating to the Elytra. It means you don't have to pull any water bucket tricks, making it even better in the Nether. And speaking of potions that are even better in the Nether, yep, it's that good. Considering that there is nothing in the game that can do this potion's job, and how much it can save your life, it deserves to be top of the list in my opinion, by giving you absolute immunity to everything remotely lava or fire based. The Nether essentially just turns into the overworld. Lasting 3 minutes, you can cover a good amount of ground and build pathways into areas which would otherwise be tricky to cross. In my mind, this is the single greatest potion on the Xbox version of Minecraft that can be obtained in survival and well and truly deserves its place as the best potion.
FIFA turned 27 this year, with the first game coming in late 1993. Back then, there were many different football games, such as Sensible Soccer, Match Day, but FIFA was the first game to get licensing with proper teams and actual players and combine them, something that ended up killing off all of its competitors, meaning that today they have no true rivals. PES does not count because for every PES player there are 40 FIFA players, or at least there was at one time. That is not a rivalry, it is just a mild annoyance. Having no rivals is often seen as one of two things. Usually, either the game has gotten to a point where it is so good it just pushes itself, or it becomes lazy and never truly changes. You can decide for yourself which one FIFA is, but from the title of the video, you can pretty much guess what I believe. Now, the way this video is going to work is, I am going to go from FIFA 08, as I believe that is the beginning of FIFA's dominance over PES, after PES's brief spell on top of FIFA. I will explain the changes made to each FIFA, and the copies sold, if the information is available. This won't be a full 40-minute video telling you what's happened here, and oh, this FIFA did that different, and the ball physics are slightly different in this way, because there are much better videos out there that can be done, and I'll try and link some in the description. But I will be looking at trends and events that I believe led to the potential death of FIFA. Also, I won't really be focusing on career mode or pro clubs, because those modes have been fully left to die. Like, I feel immensely sorry for the people that play those game modes, because EA have fully just stopped caring. Even in FIFA 21 with new career mode bugs, glitches, they're so prevalent, EA don't care to fix them. Also, we won't be focusing on the soundtracks because, let's face it, every single one from 08 to 20 absolutely slaps. 21's is disappointing, and you know it. In your heart of hearts, you know 21 was a bit naff.
Goodbye, mystery. You promised you would love us, but you knew too much.
FIFA 08 came out on the 28th of September 2007 and sold enough to receive Platinum Sales Award, the same as PES 2008. It was the most searched FIFA on Google in release month pre-FIFA 11, and it often seems the game that killed off PES. Whilst I don't necessarily agree with that statement, it is very easy to see why people think that, as the two series were never this close again. And now we're at a point in time where every copy of PES port, 40 games of FIFA are purchased. This was the game that introduced Be A Pro, a new AI engine, and was the first FIFA to start life on both the PS3 and the Xbox 360. It involved 620 licensed teams, 30 leagues, more than 15,000 real-world players, which actually made it 20% bigger than FIFA 07, which is a significant upgrade in terms of the size and scope of the game, and offered plenty of new markets for EA to exploit. The game was received very well by critics and decently well by players, as people praised the gameplay, the graphics, the commentary, especially when compared to PES. The next significant advancement for FIFA was when Ultimate Team became a free game mode in FIFA, because in FIFA 09 and 10 the mode had been a paid DLC which cost £8 and £4 respectively. With this, EA saw an increase in searches for FIFA 11 when compared to FIFA 10, and were able to implement what would become one of the single most successful game modes in gaming history. This year was also noticeable for the increase in content made about the game. Famously, this was the first FIFA which YouTubers such as KSI, ChrisMD and others started posting videos onto YouTube for. The game received good scores from critics and players alike, with many people really emphasising its use of licenses and quality of life changes from FIFA 10. So FIFA reached its search peak worldwide in June 2014 as the World Cup was in flow and hype for FIFA 15 started building. After a brief dip in August, people started to get interested in FIFA once more in September. On launch, it sold 2.66 million units, making it the best-selling UK game in 2014 at start, beating the likes of Advanced Warfare, Destiny and Far Cry 4. Overall, the game would be the best-selling FIFA of all time, with over 18 million copies sold worldwide. However, we do need to address the elephant in the room. The thing that most believe killed off FIFA, the likely thing that stopped a lot of YouTubers from playing FIFA.
Price ranges.
When price ranges were introduced, many people were, quite rightly, annoyed. Whilst I believe that EA have actually amended price ranges properly nowadays, they got FIFA 15 so wrong. Almost every FIFA YouTuber made a video raging at EA, and there was even a hashtag trending that was hashtag #RipFoot, accompanied by players breaking their discs. This game was initially seen as positive, but fell drastically over time, especially by players. Critics pretty consistently liked it though, and after this game, FIFA's search for interest declined, so did its sales, and it's never truly recovered, continuing to decline to this very day. FIFA 17's main contribution to the death of FIFA was FUT Champs. I'll keep this brief, or as brief as I can, but many people see this as the last good FIFA. FUT Champs was essentially a way for EA to try and implement esports into the actual game. Initially, 40 games on Saturday and Sunday. It was later changed to Friday as well, so you could play the 40 games over the 3 days instead of the 2. This meant that there was now a ginormous gap between hardcore and casual players because of the rewards. This meant that casuals had to buy FIFA points to even have a slightly competitive team in FUT, and this marked the increase of frustration in FIFA, as getting a competitive team after the first few weeks of Ultimate Team was infuriating, as most teams were stacked with quality players. The journey could also be considered a reason for the death of FIFA. EA spent a lot of time and money on developing a new story mode that contained approximately 36 games of football and some of the best players in the world, and Marcus Rashford. But with its brevity, many completed it within a day. Barely anybody cared about this mode, or its 2 sequels, and was forgotten about quite quickly as EA continued to pump millions of pounds into the mode. Overall, this was a mixed bag, with critics quite liking it and the player base seeming to be undecided about whether the game was good or bad. It sold well, approximately 17 million copies, but has not been overtaken in sales by any of its successors to this day. FIFA 18 has quite a lot to unpack, but again I'll try and keep it as brief as possible. Firstly, this is the FIFA that KSI has never posted a video about, and many other YouTubers try to transition away from FIFA as best they could, because the game was just simply no longer fun for them. FIFA 18 is also the FIFA when dynamic difficulty adjustment became a hot topic, many people claiming that it meant that lower skilled casual players were able to get wins against better players. EA have only ever confirmed that it is in single player to give the player an advantage, but also to keep it fun. This is the main game that killed FIFA for me, with 19 being the absolute final nail in the coffin. The journey, too, was poor. They still didn't have Champions League rights, FUT was a sweat fest, mistakes and glitches were rife, there were no significant improvements apart from squad battles, and people simply stopped caring. This game was slated by fans and showed a significant and increasingly widening gap between players and critics. There was a dip in sales, with approximately 16.9 million copies sold, but started a decline that EA have still not managed to stop. I will be releasing a video on Sunday that shows how I feel that esports in general harms games, but to touch on it briefly here, as I've already talked about, with the introduction of FUT, champions, rivals, combined with the abolition of seasons, the casual side of Ultimate Team has been obliterated. This was most evidenced by texts publicly stating that the game is a competitive event.
The game is so like unrewarding that anyone can win. Like guys who aren't good can win on FIFA 20, and no one enjoys playing it. But you know,
when the best player in the world comes out and says on your own network that
no one enjoys playing it,
then you've messed up quite badly with how the game is. Also falling under this category is Kurt getting banned. I won't go into this here, but its main significance was that it led to Kurt streaming PES and getting more viewers than Castro playing FIFA at the same time, possibly a sign that FIFA's position as top football game is not as secure as once thought. Also, EA boosts the amount of people watching their esports with the incentives of a possible loot drop. Lots of games do this, but a lot of people just have the stream on in the background, which is evident from the viewer difference in events with and without the drops enabled.
I'll find the ticket right, I've been waiting for the perfect time.
As I said earlier, by getting rid of seasons and replacing it with foot rivals, they absolutely destroyed the last standing bastion of casual foot and turned it into a complete competitive sweatfest, where sinking money for high value players is more valuable than skill, apart from at the very extremes of the game. Volta has many of the same problems as the Journey, namely there was a lot of marketing about the mode, but it was too short and no one cared in the first place, seen by how many people do not complete the achievements. Champions League rights coming in from FIFA 19 didn't help sales, and the game series is still on the decline. The deal couldn't even generate enough search interest in FIFA 19 to match that of FIFA 18 or any game before. The important thing about these FIFAs is that ultimately, the pandemic has proved that the game still sells well. During the pandemic, FIFA 20 managed to top weekly sales charts in the UK, outselling games like Animal Crossing and Modern Warfare. Even though FIFA 19 is the 9th best-selling FIFA game of all time, behind 11, 12, 13, 16, 18, 17, 14 and 15, seeing a 25% reduction in sales from FIFA 18, millions of people still buy it, and EA still make well over $500 million a year just from Ultimate Team. However, that is including Madden as well. It's just more than they would ever make from just selling the game exclusively. So what have we learned? Not much. FIFA isn't dead and buried. It may be a glitchy, unsolved, unloved and broken mess, but it's still EA's cash cow. Has an esports that is getting artificially increased, but still good numbers and bringing in advertiser money that they then don't pass on to the pros, and a player base willing to dump millions of coins into the game. I like football and I like gaming, but to me, and probably not me alone, but not a large majority of people, since the launch of FIFA 19, the game is dead to me. Thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. The Dead Week series will be continuing tomorrow. We're having games such as Overwatch, Fortnite and Call of Duty in the discussion, so I would appreciate your support, and I shall see you all later.